So here we got Ernest Borgnine. Now, this guy wasn't a major star, but I grew up with him, you know? I mean, I grew up with him in movies, and it's like, you know, he was just kind of like this jovial guy, you know, you always see in various shows. And to see this now, and to see this amazing situation where this is what's really hard to wrap your head around. That's what I was thinking to say, you know, is that this is, oh, I got a friend of mine who's going to come up and say hi. Oh, okay. Anyway, this is a, you know, a guy that I grew up with, and to see this is just completely and totally mind-blowing, because the part that's hard to wrap your head around is that the figure that he apparently shapeshifts into is huge. You can see that it's quite a bit bigger than the man, Ernest Borgnine. I would say standing anywhere from 7 to 8 feet tall. You can see how much wider the face is. In one shot, you can see the eye extending way out beyond the face, and you see like the side of whatever this reptilian being is that he turns into when he's behind closed doors. You know, this I think is also one of the problems that Hollywood has, is that, you know, we see people, and when we see in the movies, we know they're actors, and we know that it's just, you know, that doesn't necessarily betray who their personality is. But we keep sitting in front of these movies and watching, and all the while, there's something very different going on. But our minds are made to think in a certain way, even while believing in a greater reality. So, you know, I just gotta say that I mean, I still can't believe it, but you know, the film doesn't lie. I mean, it's right there on the print. Anybody can check this out. I mean, this is the reptilian shape-shifting that Ike and Arizona Wilder and a bunch of others talking about. And this guy turns into a giant reptilian, and apparently they eat people. I don't know if they have to eat people, but it sounds like they do. And to see Ernest Borgnine, the jovial, laughing, kind of wide-set guy with the big grin and the little space between his teeth, and to see this, man, it's just, I can't believe it, dude. I just can't believe it. All the shape-shifting for this I got from just this one scene where Ernest Borgnine's face is in the dark there, and that's where a lot of this comes out. And the end here where you got the rest of it, I think there was some more shape-shifting, but I don't use it. But what I thought was interesting about this was that the shape-shifting takes place so fast in these tiny, tiny microseconds that no one has any chance really to see it. I mean, certainly not when it's playing live, but the only way to see this is to take it frame by frame. So the first thing I noticed was the mouth, and you can see right from this first shot, look how the mouth extends beyond what it would and curves around. But then it gets really wild, and then see how the shapes of the eye in that ghosting, that blue-white, whatever that material is, it's like, I wonder if that's like an interdimensional ghost material of some kind. And we normally don't notice it, but for some reason it shows up in a print when you brighten it up. But you see how the mouth there curves up, and look at you can see one reptilian slit eye there, and look at what you'll notice with the distortions of the face. It's like these massive pockmarks that seem to match almost like a television distortion field that you might see, like the flesh is actually being morphed by not necessarily reptilian features. Now look at this crocodile mouth, lizard mouth thing, dude. I mean, will you look at this shit? I mean, it looks like a crocodile. Look at the cheek there. Look at the end. And there's a comparison of Kurt Russell, and notice the same pattern, this curve, that jagginess up and down. You see, it looks like an alligator. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Jaggy teeth inside. But look at this with Ernest Borgnine. I mean, it's incredible. And you can see the teeth inside, although it's hard to tell what's teeth and what might be like dripping. And it looks like the forms morph, and that's why I think it speaks against the idea of a liquid crystal hologram, although I don't know. But that's just one thought that I had about it, is that if it was a hologram, it wouldn't drip and morph in those shapes. At least it doesn't seem like that to me. But the morphing then would be because it's trying to decide between its human and its reptilian shape. And look at the size of this mouth here. It's hard to see right away, and some people might say it's just distortion, but when you start looking at some more of these shots, you can see that the mouth goes all the way around, just like Kurt Russell. It's huge. And these are like croc monsters. Okay, now look at this, man. Look at this face, man. This looks like a cross between a Klingon and Godzilla. I mean, look at this, man. Now look at the black and white version when I show it here. I use the color too. I mean, look at this. It looks like a cross between Freddy Krueger and Godzilla and God knows what else. I mean, but look at this, man. I mean, that's some scary shit, I gotta say. Look at this. I mean, look, you can see it. You can see the mouth. You can see the eyes. And it's like a lot of other things that I've noticed with this. It's almost like there's so much distortion going on that you can't tell what's, what the forms are, the shape shifting, because it looks like there's, even in some shots, there's multiple mouths, and you can't really tell what's going on. And you can even see in some of the shapes that are around the figure, it looks like little mouths here and there. I switch between the colors to just get another way of looking at it. And what's weird too, so you'll notice the difference between the light side of his face and the dark side. And in some shots in the dark side, you see the forms extend way out beyond the face. And also remember that curved end to the mouth that I told you about. Like in the mouth, it's like there's a little loop, like a loop in a thread, like a kind of a roundish shape at the end. And you can really see that here. And look at the ghosting form of the mouth as it extends beyond the face. And by the way, you'll keep seeing this mouth when you close your eyes. It's that disgusting. After I kept working on this, I kept seeing that mouth with all these teeth in it in my mind's eye, like when you close your eyes. It's really weird. But look at this thing, man. I mean, it looks like a cross between a vampire and John Carpenter's The Thing and Freddy Krueger. It's really weird, and that's kind of what it reminds me a little bit of, John Carpenter's The Thing. And it's like this bubbling, morphing, and with all the razor sharp teeth that you'll see in the models of John Carpenter's The Thing. And look at the mouth in this shot. Look at all these little mini jaggy teeth that come down. And it's really weird. You can also see the darkness of the mouth extending as far as you can see it into the ear. Look at the up and down. Look at the shapes, the X mark crisscross shapes to his face. It looks like I mean, it looks definitely demonic. and I think that's what we're dealing with. I mean, that's what, you know, like I said, I mean, it's hard to believe the jovial, friendly-looking guy, you know, in Ernest Borgnine, and you see him in all these movies, but I mean, dude, if this is what he really looks like, I mean, you know, we don't know then what his real personality is. And look at how big that mouth is. You can see in the black and white. There's no mistaking. You can see it has like a V shape to it. It comes down. It looks like a classic dinosaur, like from that Dino-Crock show, like that comedy dinosaur show. I forget what the name of it was. And the black and white is, once again, to see it a little bit more clearly. But also what's interesting is when the mouth opens up sometimes you get like these, looks like clusters of teeth, but I mean, he's got to have one form. It probably settles into something that looks like a crocodile dinosaur of some kind. Look at the way the nostril is opened up by a hole right there. That's probably like it's like the flesh. I don't know if it's the flesh morphing, or like what many people say, it's only the light that is being reflected in a different way so that you see it. But look at the way the mouth, you see the red and then the white of the teeth around it. It's like the thing, dude. It looks like the thing. And you can see the forms extending beyond the face. Look at the way the eyes are in this. Those holes, the pattern to those holes around the eyes. It looks like John Carpenter's They Live. Those eyes right there. I mean, I wonder if he's seen that firsthand, or if he's just, you know, I mean, my current guess would have to be that he has to be one of these reptilians. I mean, it just, how can he have all these people working for him? I mean, it's possible that he's not, but I think he is, and they just, you know, for whatever reason, they're not worried about it coming out. In fact, they may be doing it to diffuse. I mean, look at this. This looks exactly like They Live, the way those eyes are and the way the mouth is. Look at that. That looks exactly like They Live. The face is like stripped of flesh, and you see like a flesh tone to it. But in They Live, you didn't see the huge mouth and the fangs. But one thought I had about John Carpenter's movies is that by releasing similar information, it is a diffusement of the idea. Look at this mouth, man. I mean, look at this mouth. Just look at it when the pattern goes away. I mean, look at that. Look at that huge shape you see in the darkness of the black. Look at that. Can you imagine how big the head has to be? Because you can see that goes all the way to the end. And in some shots coming up too, you'll see that the head extends way out beyond the size of the face. And if you look in this shot too, you see these jagged points sticking all the way out, like like one of those lizards that has the spikes. See that? There's triangles sticking out all around, like one of those lion type lizards that has those things sticking out. I forget what they're called. I don't know how well you can see it, but I can see these shapes extending way out beyond the face, and you can tell that they're part of the face because as they enter into the image area where his flesh is, you can see that they affect the shapes of the flesh. And this is really weird. You see how that huge opening is right there, and it looks like jagged teeth inside. And but the side on the right side of his face, the mouth is apparently closed. But look inside there. Look at that. Look at the that area in there. It looks like this. It looks like he's chomping teeth inside there. It's pretty creepy. It's almost like the light maybe even affects the entire mood of his flesh. But I mean, this is all there on the print. It's just that we don't see it because it's in the dark, and this ghosting material that shows up on the print isn't visible until you brighten it up. But you can really see the forms that ghosting, which by the way, that ghosting blue stuff is all around. But look at the pattern of the holes around his nose. You can really see it's like 4 holes there, and of course that fang there is pretty prominent. It makes you wonder about how big his teeth might really be. And I noticed in a lot of these, once again, that it could just be that it's moving, but the mouth a lot of times appears to have like a one below it and one above it. To see, like below his chin, oh yeah, here, and look at this strange pattern. No idea what that is. And it doesn't make sense for it to be there. See, here's and you can see it in the black and white too. Doesn't make any sense what that is. It's almost like these frequency patterns. You know, someday there's going to be somebody who figures this out, somebody who can believe in this and handle it and not go nuts, and then they'll get together with some scientists and figure out everything that's going on. And look at the nose and around the nose too. It almost looks like there's a mouth right underneath the nose. You can see like a black area, and yet you can see the mouth, and you can see the big mouth as it extends all the way to the end. It's really weird. I mean, look at the size of that grin, guys. I mean, that is one hell of a grin. I mean, these things probably grin. I mean, that would be my guess. They have similar emotions. I mean, look at that. That looks just like they live. Look at those holes. I mean, you can really see the surface of those holes in the skin, especially around the nose and the cheek. I mean, this has got to be where John Carpenter gets his material. I wonder if he's done similar footage analysis. Decided not to go public, otherwise it would have killed him. Oh, who knows what the story is. I think he's probably a reptilian, and they can make these movies because they know that most people aren't going to wake up. It's not violating whatever deal they have with God. Apologize for the lights in the background. It's kind of hard to avoid it. I don't have a studio now. I'm going to do this from cafes. So also sorry about the background music here, but it's hard also to do it in the RV because there's no power, and the machine will run down pretty quick. When you make movies, it uses a lot of juice. But look at the way that mouth goes up and down, that up-down mountain pattern. It's like a crocodile. And there's something underneath there too. Almost looks like another mouth, but hard to imagine what that could be. But yeah, it's interesting how I see new things every time I watch this, and those eyes really look like they live. The distortions appear to change with each frame. And look at the way the teeth come up to the nose almost there, in the dark side of his face. And you can see look at that, the way that the teeth has a different shape, but the one on his left tooth there. I mean, I would really like to see this thing in its full transformed form. Look at the size of that fang, by the way. Look at that. That thing was huge. And in this shot, it looks like these thin, even row of little tiny teeth, like maybe like a lizard has. So it's really hard to pinpoint, what the actual features are. They seem to change, but that V shape and the zigzag shape seems to remain the same. But you see how it goes all the way around to the ear? You can see the black area. And then in other shots, the mouth appears to extend only like beneath the eye, but then it also, part of it seems to extend like out to the ear. These weird shaped teeth. It's just weird. I mean, look at this thing, man. This thing's like a Dino-Crock lizard demonic beast. Oh, Ernest. Can't believe it, man. I mean, if I somehow lose my protection and they send something like Ernest after me, I imagine it's going to hurt pretty bad. But then again, if we don't do something to try to wake people up, I mean, we're just going to be enslaved forever. I think we humans have a right to know what's going on and who we're seeing in the movies and what these things are. I don't blame them if they think they ain't going to get a fair shake from humans, but I mean, this is empirical evidence that something paranormal is going on, and the more people look into this and the more scientific information is gathered about it, and people start producing things that verify this opening salvo of evidence, it's going to become public knowledge. Everybody's going to know. So, in my opinion, they got to start preparing for it, because, I mean, this is, it can't go on. I mean, eventually, the snake's out of the bag, essentially. And my understanding also is that there's all different kinds too, but the reptilians we tend to see the most, I think, because they're the dominant form. Okay, now here you'll see the eye on his left side there, and you see how it extends out way beyond. That's the eye socket. You see how big it is, and I think that you can see also those forms on the side, and that's how big the head really is. You say, well, how can it play, or how can it be this man-sized actor?